At the Gainesville City Hall is where Mayor Harvey Ward will be swearing in the 3 new members. Many in the community are upset by this decision as they are all from the same political party and live outside the city limits. These changes to the GRU authority has caused major discussion. The fire department hopes no flames will be burning as this week is Fire Prevention Week. In sports, Billy Napier was among the head coaches today speaking at the SEC Media Days in Nashville. The Gators finished 6-7 last year, and Napier was asked about making changes to improve on defense. But the air will not be as chilly as last week. WFT's Daniela Rudolph is tracking the next cold front. And I'm Caitlyn Schiffer. Thanks for joining us. Deputies in Columbia County are searching for one of their own after a K-9 deputy disappeared chasing a suspect into a wooded area. The law enforcement agencies around North Central Florida are sending their condolences to the Lake City Police Department after they lost one of their own this weekend. As UF is now rated the number 6 public university. U.S. News and World Report described this as the most significant methodological change in the rankings history.
Farming runs through Timothy Driver's DNA. On his property in Mayo, he cultivates livestock and tobacco. But even 2 weeks after Hurricane Idalia, it's been a struggle for Driver to get back on his feet.
It's devastation. I don't believe I will never see the end of it as long as I live. And I don't know if my kids ever, they may never see the end of it either, because these trees is never going to be the same. And it's just everything's demolished.
Idalia tore through Driver's 400-acre property, resulting in over $150,000 worth of damages.
We've never been hit with nothing like this in this area. We've had them close and had some winds, but nothing like this. It's just, I think everybody's still in shock. And people want to give up, but you can't do it. You got to keep going and fighting for life. But it's bad for everyone.
Idalia is the first hurricane to hit the North Central Florida region this season.
Farmers such as Timothy Driver have been devastated by the impacts of Hurricane Idalia. As you can see Driver's shed behind me, the roofing has imploded, tools are everywhere. His farmland is completely destroyed. The Florida Farm Bureau has been assisting and helping these farmers in a time of need. The Florida Farm Bureau is holding a supply drive and set up a hurricane disaster relief fund to help these farmers.
There are a lot of producers and farmers. We're involved in the enhancement of technologies and the capability to produce more food with less fertilizer, less water, less acreage as we see those acreages diminish. So our producers are involved and Farm Bureau is helpful in being able to make sure that those efficiencies are maximized.
Although these farmers face many challenges on the road ahead, they will do it together as a community. Caitlyn Schiffer, WUFT News.
Last month, anti-Semitism has been on an extreme rise after the raging Israel-Hamas war. In order to provide safety to Jewish students, the Florida Senate will vote today on a bill to strengthen security at Jewish schools.
The Florida House of Representatives voted in favor of passing a $45 million bill to strengthen security for Jewish schools. According to the Anti-Defamation League, there were a recorded of 312 anti-Semitic incidents between October 7th and October 23rd. After this alarming increase, lawmakers such as Representative Randy Fine have been pushing for legislative efforts to combat the fear of many Jewish communities.
It's unfortunate that we have to have a bill like this. I mean, keep in mind, we're going to allocate $45 million. That's not going to help a single kid learn how to read or do math or learn history. It's going to be to keep children safe.
Senate Bill 6C would directly afford $45 million to Jewish schools and other facilities. $15 million will be used to harden security measures such as bulletproof glass, security guards, and barriers. $10 million would be aided for non-hardening security measures as well. The other $20 million would be put towards the nonprofit security grant program. B'nai Israel Day School has placed law enforcement on its property since the deadly attacks on October 7th. Executive Director Jennifer Petrescu says providing security is extremely costly, and this funding would make an impact.
It's going to make a huge difference in our overall budget in terms of being able to provide security every minute that we're open. And that's the conversation that we're having is that we really need to have somebody there as as often as somebody's in the building.
In the midst of the fear and terror the Jewish community has been experiencing, the goal of these schools such as B'nai Israel is to keep the kids unaware and safe.
I credit the teachers, the administration, for making sure that, as stressful as a time as it is, that doesn't convey to the children.
The resources will also be shared with historically black colleges and universities in the state. The Senate is expected to pass the bill today. This resource would afford relief and comfortability for thousands of Jewish citizens. Reporting live in the studio, Caitlyn Schiffer, WUFT News. 2 Gainesville homeless shelters will be opening its doors for anyone in need of a warm place to stay tonight.
I don't think a lot of people realize they're a few steps closer to homelessness than they're not.
Neighbors in need can go to Grace Marketplace or St. Francis House. There they can receive a hot meal, shower, and access to a warm bed as they wait out the colder weather. The city activates their Cold Night Shelter program from November 1st to March 31st, when temperatures are expected to be at their coldest. St. Francis House Director of Development Caitlyn Drummett says this program gives these individuals reassurance to know they have a safe place to go.
Yeah, so it's just nice that they know they have a safe place they can go and not have to worry about where they're going to sleep overnight when it's so cold out.
The program will continue to run until overnight temperatures rise above 45 degrees. Anyone with a blue card police clearance is welcome to stay at the St. Francis House in these chilly times.
In order for these facilities to continue helping those in need, organizers rely heavily on community donations. Donations can be collected from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Reporting live at the St. Francis House, Caitlyn Schiffer, WUFT News. As the flu season is rolling in, vaccination rates are not rolling out. A new study conducted by the CDC advises for all children under the age of 5 to receive the influenza vaccination.
At almost any CVS or local pharmacy, you can receive the flu vaccine, but the CDC reports people aren't signing up to get the shot. University of Florida Assistant Professor of Biostatistics Matt Hitchings says the flu vaccine generates an immune response, creating antibodies, which is why it is important for children to receive the vaccine.
If you're a parent, you don't want your kid to go to the emergency department. Anything you can do for your kid which is going to reduce that risk on the individual level, kind of messaging that to parents, I think is really important.
According to the CDC, the influenza vaccine reduces the risk of hospitalization in children by almost half. Children under the age of 5 are among the highest risk when it comes to the flu.
And so kids don't have as many of those antibodies, and so it makes sense that a vaccine given to a kid who has never seen influenza before might actually be more effective.
Influenza vaccinations can reduce the risk of contracting the flu, but since you are still susceptible, some say that's why they avoid the vaccine. Anyone is able to receive a flu vaccine at most local pharmacies, and bigger names like Walgreens, Publix, and CVS.
This study shows the vaccine reduces the risk of severity, preventing more serious outcomes. Live in the newsroom, Caitlyn Schiffer, WUFT News.